Happy Thursday, everybody, and happy spring. I love that spring is here. It's one of my favorite seasons. So I hope yours is off to a great start. I'm Tammy Langowski. I'm an intuitive advisor and reader to your questions, and I work with clairaudience and clairvoyance. I have lots of channel messages I put on my social media, Tammy's Intuitive Services on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. TikTok, sometimes I do some clairaudient convos with either animals or anything that's live, basically. So it could be plants or flowers and all that good stuff. So check it out if you get a chance. I love your follows and subscribes. It means a lot to me. So thank you so much. So today for Tammy's channel chats, we're going to do and open up to the subject of past lifetimes. And is it, really relevant, or does it make sense for us to maybe know about them or some of them? So anyway, I thought that was a really good question that somebody had posed to me. So I'm going to go ahead and open up to that. So I'm going to tune into my guides and angels with the idea of past lifetimes. Well, first, guides, anything you want to say about past lifetimes and why it might be a good idea for us to maybe sometimes be aware of them and brought to the forefront. They said because it's necessary sometimes to get the point across. And we mean by that, sometimes as we give you information, it also makes sense for us to highlight a past lifetime where you have had the same experience or perhaps the same challenges or the same likes, and it can be on the positive side, they're saying, to a past lifetime that you've had to this lifetime. And so sometimes it's helpful to know why there might be fear based around a particular situation in your life, or why you have dreams that are always repetitious. And it is always with our intent. Our intent is always, they're saying, to help you be more aware. So then you have your own powerful tools to do what you will with that information. Any information we ever give to somebody about a past lifetime is meant to help them see maybe where they were stuck, what's happened before. And sometimes it will resonate for them on a very deep level because they're remembering on a deep level, sometimes not. But it is indeed something we are reflecting back to you that we see. They're showing me Akashic records and just in your aura or in your aura. So if there is a past lifetime that is presented to you that has been difficult and has not been addressed, has not been healed, and maybe lifetimes you're still learning it, throughout that lifetime and in between to this lifetime, the journey continues. So the helpful part is knowing what it was, at least from what we are reflecting back to you that we are seeing, so that you may then take that information and work on, again, if this is one that is a struggle or a challenge for you, to release the energy with the understanding that was then and this is now. To understand that you are giving yourself the power and the permission to release an energy that no longer serves you and does not help you in this lifetime going forward. I've had many readings where past lifetimes come in for people. And it was important for them to know about it. And sometimes it was really interesting because it can be very simple situations, but that had an impact on them. I think I want to say this one's a bit odd. And sometimes I get kind of ones that are a bit odd. But there was one time somebody I think had an aversion to cherries. And I looked at it because I thought, well, there was nothing in this lifetime, because a lot of times things like that, aversions to things like foods and stuff, can be past lifetime things. Or it can be things from this lifetime, on conditioning from what a parent made you eat, or, something like that as well. But if I can't see that, or if I don't see that, or we don't get that, then a lot of times I look at past lifetimes, or they'll just give it to me. Anyway, this one person had an aversion to cherries. And oddly enough, I opened up to it. I say oddly enough because it was just, I never know what I'm going to receive. And I saw them in a cherry tree. But the next thing I saw is that there was all these ants. I don't know, do ants like cherry trees? Maybe so, because that's what I saw. all these ants were like coming in big time and all over, going all over this. He was a young boy, I wanted to say, in that vision, this person in that lifetime. And I don't, honestly, I don't remember exactly the outcome of that, but it was obviously very traumatic. And as you know, if you got ants all over, it's kind of hard to get them all off, It's kind of like the ideas of bees, people who've been attacked by bees, that sort of thing. So I thought that was really interesting. As a result, cherries to that person, then you can imagine you make that association with something very traumatic and you didn't like it. So what we would suggest in those times, and anytime it's something that's, was a little bit difficult, is to really, in a meditation, take some time. I always, suggest to people to bring down the visual, however they saw it. I'm relaying it to them, and however they saw it in their mind's eye, and bring that down to the first chakra. I like to have already dropped my grounding cord. I use that tree trunk, hollowed out, connects to the core of the earth. So you have a way to send things that you don't want in your space down there. And so I have them bring it to the first chakra and just thank them for the lesson it gave you, but that you no longer need to hold on to this experience or the trauma behind it. That again, that was then, this is now, this is a different lifetime, letting go of the trauma all the way down. And you're sending that picture all the way down your grounding cord, and it dissipates into the core of the earth to be recycled. Releasing, and then maybe affirming that I'm always safe eating cherries. I am always safe around cherry trees because I no longer need to carry on that past lifetime. For whatever it gave me then, I don't need to have it right now stored in, in fear, basically in my aura, in my space. So for the ones that are more negative based, we always say we're showing you this and talking to you about this so that you may make peace with it and bring it more to full consciousness to be able to talk to it, even if it was something pretty traumatic. I've seen many that I was like surprised many times just because it plays out, it's usually how it plays out for me, and I let it play out more and more, and I could probably go further with it. It just takes more time. So I usually get to the nitty gritty of what it is for that person and, send down. So keep in mind, I am able to do that for you if you're ever interested in a session like that. It could even be a session about that, about looking at past lifetimes and seeing what comes up. I do have clients that ask about those. So now, for guides, for something that's positive that you see, a positive lifetime is to remind you of the joy of it. They just said, to remind you of the joy of it, of how it made you happy. True, because what I will get sometimes for people is they will tap into like, oh, you were an artist, we see you painting and you loved it and it brought you peace and it was tranquil and all that good stuff. So they're bringing it forward to this person who might not have decided to dabble in it in this lifetime, but just to remind them that you might want to revisit it just a little bit because it brought you joy and it was something that made you feel really good. So that too, we say, bring that in, bring that in if it was something that was very positive for you, so that you can, kind of maybe think about going down that path again or just incorporating it into your life. Or I might see something, I think I've seen, really sweet relationships between people and the idea of love and being in love. And somehow that's incorporated into the reading to kind of go there again, that you have loved before, you were loved passionately. And so that it helps this person know that they're worthy of it, that they can again, create this for themselves. So past lifetimes and being shown past lifetimes really are about getting clear as to what some of the blocks or the issues could be that hold you back, or they can catapult you, I'm hearing, further into exploring some of your abilities and interests and loves that you've had before that can help expand your vision in this lifetime and your experience in this lifetime. So I think knowing past lifetimes is great. I think there are people who feel like, oh, I don't think it's good to bring up, things like that. Well, that's why I get that. And I think I understand that to some degree. I think if you have a past lifetime, or past life regression, I should say, that it is important also to be helped through some of that if it's something that was a little bit difficult, instead of, wow, boom, that's what you had. And then you end the session, and maybe the next day or two, you're feeling the effects of that because some of that feeling is coming up again. I had that happen to me. And what I think is important in hypnotherapy or anything like that is to help the person, kind of acknowledge it, but also make some peace with it. Like I was saying, bringing it down to the first chakra and releasing it. And so if it was something that was more of a negative nature, and maybe even asking yourself what your lessons were from it, or my guides can help in looking at some of that as well. But so that's what I would say to that. The ones that are a little bit about bringing up things, I really trust that when my guides show me a past lifetime for somebody, they need to see it. They need to just be aware of it so that they can work on releasing it. You are never stuck with those feelings. You can own them. You can love yourself through it. And I think for mine, there was just sharing my personal story with that. For mine, it was really enlightening though for me, but it was about me being, I won't go into too much description because I plan to write about it someday, but it was about a life that I was very lonely. And I probably had, well, I did. I think I'd had several lifetimes. Now, this lifetime is not like that for me. Everybody has lonely periods in life, so don't get me wrong on that. But I mean, I have support around me, and I'm not by myself. And maybe that's how far I've come in learning some of those. But now I know what it felt like to be there. Remember, every lifetime is important, no matter what you've gone through. It builds compassion and empathy. And that's what we're really in a body for, is learning different experiences to know what it's like to be in everybody's shoes, right? Lifetimes after lifetimes after lifetimes, ultimate goal of really the highest form of love and what God's source really is, enlightenment, pure enlightenment. So that's what I've been told. That's my belief on that. So that lifetime as the lonely piece, I know that after the session, it was great. It was a great session, but I think I probably could have used a little of processing that, because it actually came up for me few days after, where I had to kind of deal with some of that. So there was some real truth, unleashed, can of worms opened, so to speak, and I had to kind of work with it, but all good in the long run, because I was able to kind of see that, acknowledge it, feel it on all levels, and understand it. And it made sense for how I think I view other people when I see them like that, or the underdogs, so to speak. When I was a kid and want to kind of help out. And I think because I had that lifetime, right? So I understood it. So I think there is real value in being able to see a past lifetime, past life regressions. I think keeping that in mind, that if you do have one with somebody that really offers that quite a bit, then, maybe making it understood that you would like, if there's anything that comes up, to be helped to process that. A good hypnotherapist will do that for you. And they understand that they don't want to just leave you hanging, so to speak. And then embrace the gifts you had before. If you hear of some good things that pop up for you that you were good at before, you might want to pick it up and explore it again. So that's a little bit coming in. Let me see what else my guys want to say. We trust that you will remember that you are always loved throughout each lifetime. No matter the circumstances, no matter what lessons you might be learning, you are supported and you are loved, because it is a journey for you. It is for you to have better understanding of what others feel and what others go through. And so if we give you a glimpse, it is to share with you something important for you to revisit, so that you may either make peace with it, or you may incorporate some of that really beautiful energy into your present lifetime. Okay, and they're leaving us with that. So I hope this was helpful for you about tapping in on past lifetimes. And again, I do offer this. My hypnotherapy sessions are pretty much on hold for a while, but my guides have always been able to take a look at those for you. Obviously, in a hypnotherapy for past lifetime regression, you are the one seeing it for yourself and letting me know what you're seeing, and I'm helping you to guide you through that. in a session that you're just wondering about your past lifetimes, we definitely can see that. And I look to see what pops up for you, and I let it play out as a reel in my mind's eye. Clairvoyance there being in use, and I kind of just see what's happening and give you. Sometimes I jump ahead to see maybe to the end of your life, what I'm seeing for that. So it's also just fun, right? Sometimes it's just fun, but certainly if it's something pretty traumatic, we will work through that a little bit as well. So anyway, thanks for viewing again. And please do check out my other great things I'm doing on, thanks to my guys, I give them the credit, of channeled messages, Tammy's Intuitive Services, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok is pretty new for me. So I'm having some fun with that. And of course, my other YouTube channel with fellow intuitive, Julie Hawkins, Two Psychic Moms. Number 2, Psychic Moms. You can check that out too if you are the first time viewing any of this. I appreciate your followings and your subscribes and shares and likes and all that good stuff. So thanks so much. Enjoy your week, and I will see you next week. Take care.